We like to think we're rational creatures, weighing pros and cons with cool, detached logic. Yet often our decision-making process is far from objective. Lurking beneath the surface is a powerful force, our ego. While often tangled with self-esteem, the ego, in this context, refers to our ingrained sense of self, our desire to be right, to be admired, and to avoid feeling vulnerable or inadequate. And this intricate construct, designed to protect us, can ironically become the biggest obstacle to making sound choices. The ego doesn't announce its presence with a fanfare. It subtly guides our thoughts and actions, often without us realizing it. There are various ways our ego sabotages our decision-making. The ego hates admitting mistakes. It will stubbornly cling to an idea, even when faced with compelling evidence to the contrary. This can lead to doubling down on bad decisions, rather than course-correcting. We prioritize maintaining an image of competence over actually being effective. The ego fears appearing weak. This fear can manifest in not asking for help or not admitting our own ignorance at times. These can feel like a blow to the ego. We may avoid these actions, even when they are the best course, simply to protect a fragile sense of superiority. This can result in missed opportunities and unresolved problems. The ego desires external validation. We can become overly concerned with what others think about us, making decisions to seek approval or avoid criticism, rather than focusing on what is truly best for ourselves or the situation. We might prioritize popularity or prestige over integrity or the long-term benefit. The ego can easily be triggered by perceived threats or slights. When this happens, we react emotionally, not logically. We become impulsive and defensive, often making decisions that we later regret. This can look like anger, defensiveness, or passive aggression. The ego loves feeling in control, even when true control is an illusion. We may overestimate our abilities, underestimate risks, and ignore expert advice because our ego wants to believe it's smarter than everyone else. This can result in reckless behavior and poor planning. The consequences of ego-driven decision-making can be significant, both personally and professionally. The ego has a fear of failure or appearing foolish, which can prevent us from taking risks that could lead to great success. Stubbornness and defensiveness fueled by the ego can strain relationships with friends, family, and colleagues. The good news is that while the ego may be a powerful influence, it's not insurmountable. By cultivating self-awareness, we can learn to recognize when our ego is at play and make more conscious choices. Regularly examine your thoughts and feelings. Ask yourself why you're feeling a certain way, and if your ego might be clouding your judgment. Acknowledge that you don't have all the answers. Be open to feedback and willing to learn from others. It's okay to admit mistakes and ask for help. Strength lies not in perfection, but in the courage to be imperfect. Make decisions that align with your core values rather than your ego's fleeting desires. Taking a moment to pause before reacting can help you separate your emotional response from your rational thinking. The ego, while a necessary part of our psyche, can be a significant obstacle to making sound decisions. By understanding its influence and actively working to cultivate awareness and humility, we can learn to navigate life with more clarity, compassion, and ultimately make choices that are genuinely in our best interest. The journey of taming our ego is ongoing, but the rewards are well worth the effort. Don't let this silent saboteur derail your decisions.